Well, hello everybody. Thank you for tuning in to what I guarantee is going to be just an action-packed webinar. We've got with us as a special co-host Mary Van Doorn, and Mary has a tremendous success story that has been building and building. She got 52 SE points last month. She's on track to do the same thing this month. We're going to go over a lot of her stats and the things, exactly what she's done. Her plan, the realistic plan for getting this kind of a return out of your business. So what I want to make sure that everybody knows is that this is a training event. And it's specifically for coaches. We're on live, so we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. So keep your questions and go to the GoToWebinar control panel, and you can actually click onto questions, and you can put your questions in there, and we'll be answering them at the end. Now, what I want to also say is that we're going to respect your time tonight. This webinar is scheduled to go for an hour and a half, and we're going to be training solid, jam-packed all the way through it. So I'm going to make sure that you're going to get out on time. We also want to promise that we're not only going to go over Mary's campaign and all of her success, but I'll also promise to give you 3 important action steps that you're going to be able to use immediately in your business to start seeing more success. And on top of that, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that you're going to want to avoid in your business and how these are the ones that can stop you in your tracks. So I want you to make sure, hopefully a lot of you downloaded the workbook, the handout we have for the webinar. If not, hopefully you've got a sheet of paper and pencil and you're ready. So we're also going to be showing you all of this, but we're going to talk at the end. If you want to do what Mary did, which was it's the first time that you'll be going through something like this and the ideas that we're talking about here, if you want help implementing that, we're going to talk about how we can support you and how you can join the university a little bit later on. But to get the best experience here, what I'd have you do is I'd have you turn off all the programs, right, on your computer, silence your phone, close the door, give yourself this time. You set this time aside. Let's make the most of it here. So a lot of you may not know, but I'm Steve McDonald. I'm president of the Practical Social Media University. And I've been working with Beachbody since 2010. Corporate brought me in to do a social media training program. We had a social media summit. We brought in all the top social media coaches, which were 5 of the top 10 coaches that year. And since then, I've been working with Beachbody Coaches for years and years and years. In fact, we've serviced over 8,400 coaches in the university. So what I like to say is that everything you're seeing and you're going to hear tonight, I call it streetwise and proven because it has been tested. Everything we recommend is tested over and over and over again, and we get feedback on a daily basis. So you can have a lot of confidence in what you're going to hear tonight is something that applies directly and that you can be doing in your business. Now, Mary, let me turn it over to you and just tell us a little bit about your story as a coach and how you got to where you are right now.
Hey everybody, I am Mary Van Doorn. I've been a coach now for a little bit over a year. I joined officially in November 2015, but didn't start coaching until that January. And like probably all of you, I reached out to my friends and my family and my acquaintances and people at the gym and anybody I could talk to encourage them to join me on this program. And a couple of months in, I realized that that wasn't really sustainable if I wanted to go big with my business. And my coach, Monica, introduced me to Practical Social Media University. And I listened to a webinar just like this one and decided I was going to go for it. And went through the fast track steps and have been consistently working with Steve, asking questions, and the Success Club points and people I come in contact with, it's all growing at a steady pace now. So it has helped me become more focused in my business, has given me more purpose. I don't feel so lost in who I'm supposed to be talking to or what I'm supposed to be saying to them because this process has helped me hone in on that perfect customer.
And we're going to show a lot about what you're doing and that idea of the perfect customer. we have down here the Sugar Mama Strong in the red there. And what I want you to do is one of the very first things that you need to do in your business, and this is going to be one of the action steps we talk about tonight, is defining who's your perfect customer. We're going to talk a lot about that, right? Because being everything to everybody is a surefire way of not being relevant to anybody. And so stay tuned, because we're actually going to show you how you can get our guide, the How to Discover Your Perfect Customer, a step-by-step avatar guide, a little bit later in the webinar here. But this guide and the importance of defining the perfect customer for you and your business. This is Coach Monica. I put this up last week, I think it was, in our private Facebook group with all the coaches who are members of the university. And she said, just wow, great information. You know, not doing this, picking a perfect customer, is why so many small businesses fail. This is what everybody has to do, no matter what kind of a business you are. So what I'm going to do now, before we start getting into specifically what Mary did, I want to address the three greatest fears with all those thousands and thousands and thousands of coaches that we've worked with. I want to address some of the fears that you might be having as you're coming onto the webinar here. One is, Steve, I've done a lot of social media. I've tried it, and I've done a lot of posting, got my Facebook page, personal profiles, Instagram, and I just get crickets and dribbles. I just don't get that much out of it. So I want to take the pressure valve off, because what's going to happen here is that we're not going to tell you that you need to build a huge social media following in order to have a lot of leads coming in. That's not what Mary did. Now, she's been building a social media following, but she started with no following really at all. Mary, you were just working your warm market right before you came into the university. Right. So I want to take that pressure off, right? That we're not talking about building huge following bases. That's going to happen over time, but it's not a requirement. And so that's what a lot of people worry about. Now, I don't know where to start. Well, with the action steps, we're going to show you tonight, these are exactly how you start, the foundational things that you're going to need to do. And Mary talked about our fast track steps. We have step 1, 2, 3. We know exactly what it takes and where you need to start and what you need to do at each step of the way. So don't worry about that. And then the last one is, do I have what it takes? So we've all seen really big, successful coaches that we really want to be like them in their business. Problem is, duplicating what they did was really hard. So we kind of say, geez, do I have what it takes? Well, I'll tell you the case studies and the stories that we're going to be talking about tonight with other coaches, including Mary. A lot of coaches joined the university as a last-ditch effort. Right? Their Beachbody business wasn't doing absolutely anything. And that's one of the reasons why they joined. So you have what it takes if you're passionate about what you do. Right? That's a prerequisite for success in any business. So I just want you to know, absolutely, you can be like everybody else and succeed. You don't have to have some magic pixie dust in order to create a big business. Now, here's what I want you to imagine. Here's a set of what ifs. And by the way, these are all what ifs that Mary has accomplished in her business. So what if you only spent time with leads that come to you? You don't spend any time trying to find people to talk to, right? That takes so much time from so many coaches. Well, what if you could close those leads without ever talking to them live? Right? So we want to start doing things very efficiently. And what if you never had to recreate the wheel? Right? You've got a system in place, and then month after month, you work it. So that you're really just spending your time interacting with these new relationships of leads, with the perfect customer leads that are coming your way. And then what if you just spent your time building those relationships and then working on the conversion? Wouldn't that be a breath of fresh air? Mary, is that not the reality in your business right now?
Every single day, and it's awesome. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're struggling just to find the right people to talk to, and maybe you're talking to a lot of people, but you don't have a lot in common with them, it's very forced, and it's hard to have that relationship build and therefore even close that, then you're going to love what you're going to hear here tonight. So how would that, just think about how that would change your business, how it would change your whole life, getting up in the morning and thinking about how you're growing your business. So here is stats from Mary So the last 6 months is down at the bottom. That's when you started, Mary, right? You started running the campaign, the marketing plan that we're going to be talking about tonight. And you've been averaging now 31 SE points. The previous 6 months was 13 SE points, and you were doing, that's pretty good. Now that was all warm market, right?
Right.
So what I want to do is, this is the change. This is the inflection point in your business that we want to talk about. And what's the secret behind it, right? Why was Mary able to do this? And Mary, you went from literally 13 SE points a month on average to over 30 starting the very first month that you put this together. So it wasn't like a very slow build. As soon as you started to do this, you really started to have it take off on you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the very first thing that you did. You know, when you get into the business, and the very smart thing to do always is to get things going, reach out to your warm market, people that you have a relationship with, right? That is one-on-one communication. You know, and then you might meet people, at school, at church, the grocery store, all kinds of things. But at the beginning, most of you are building your business one relationship at a time. What Mary has done here is taken her business where she is adding value from not one to one, but one to many, right? And the fruition of that is the Facebook groups and getting a lot of people in there, doing low-cost Facebook advertising and reaching out to numbers of people, right? But the idea of one-on-one, finding and building and converting relationships is something that you stopped doing 6 months ago, right? And how did that feel in your business when all of a sudden you weren't kind of dependent on, where every day, if you didn't get out there and you weren't one-on-one trying to reach people, you just weren't growing? And when that scale started to happen in your business, just tell us a little bit about what that felt like, because I think people want to know, right?
Well, going from that desperation where you are, that everyone has felt that pressure. It's, the last day of the month, and you haven't hit Success Club, and, you're on a streak and you want to help people. And it's like the most awkward situation because you have no one to talk to, or you've talked to the same people over and over, and you're at this dead end. And then all of a sudden for me, it was like I had all of these people in this audience who couldn't wait to talk to me. And it was such a pivotal moment for me in my business because I finally felt like I actually had a business instead of what I call a bug my friendsness. And nobody likes to feel like that. And you don't like being on the receiving end of that either. So the fact that I have this steady flow of people to talk to, that I enjoy what I do every day, that I, can help my family financially now. I, have my tribe, and it wouldn't have happened without this process.
I mean, it changes absolutely everything. Now, the second secret here is focus. Picking a target market niche, that perfect customer. And most of you, when you first hear that, you kind of think, wow, why would I want to limit my business? Right? Why would I want to take, all these opportunities that are out there I see around and just limit it to one definition of a slice of the entire world? Well, here's the thing. This is an example of your warm market, okay? These picture of all these people here, and they look all different, right? They're different ages, different ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds. You've met some at school, church, all over the place. So it doesn't look like there's anything, that's common about these people. But what was common is they had a relationship with you. And so what we're going to be talking about here tonight is defining a new, never-ending warm market. So, Mary, you reach out to other diabetic women. And when you do, in the way that you do it, just through literally a low-cost Facebook ad, you've got built-in trust and credibility, like you do in your warm market, because they see you as one of them. They look at you and say,
Right.
you get it, you understand it, you live this every day, right? So what
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about is reaching out to people who are just like you. When we talk about a perfect customer, a niche for your business, it's where you're smack in the middle of that niche too. And that gives you a huge leg up with built-in trust, built-in credibility. What is the when you used to try to create relationships with people that you didn't know before, how long did that relationship take to try to get it to a point where people were trusting in you versus now the relationships, how long does it take to have that trust built in?
Well, before, um, I don't think I really reached out to my cold market before because I didn't even know where to begin with that. Um, I would talk to people that maybe I haven't talked to since high school, um, and it was always very awkward because, again, we haven't talked since high school, and here I am messaging them to see how they're doing. So it was always a little forced, and I didn't really know the direction to go with the conversation. Now it's almost an instantaneous bond because we can start our conversations talking about the things we have in common, and there are so many because I'm in it with them. And, it's such a natural process, and the relationship evolves smoothly, and it's never awkward because they trust me right away because of all those similarities.
Fantastic. So that's the essence of a warm market, right? Is that the reason why you reach out to people is because you've got a built-in relationship. And so what you're saying here is you do have a built-in relationship. And the ad just kicks it off. It just lets people know that, oh, I have so much in common with this person that the relationship is already there. So this is a new mindset to take on in your business to get a new result, the kind of results that Mary's getting here. And I want you just to take it from Mary and I. Here's from Inc. How to narrow your target market. Companies that try to be all things to all customers are sure to fail. Here's a business guide from Inc.com on how to focus on your target market. Inside this guide, the gentleman that wrote it said, if people come to me for advice on their business and I say, well, who's your perfect customer? And they don't know, I send them away because that's the very first place that you have to start. If you go to Wikipedia, just Google Wikipedia target market. In red here, a well-defined target market is the first element to a marketing strategy. This is where you start, no matter what kind of a business you're in. We're just talking about applying some very basic marketing fundamentals to your Beachbody business. Now, this is Seth Godin. If you don't know who Seth is, Seth has wrote like 14 books on marketing. He's considered one of the top marketing gurus out there. This was a recent podcast where he said how to think small to go big. And when we talk about small, he's talking about defining a target market niche. Right? And the idea is it's not, I have an article written on the university that says target market niches aren't limiting, they're liberating. They're so much easier to work with. And we're going to talk about, when we talk about defining a perfect customer niche for you and your business, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands strong when you're talking about it online and finding these people on Facebook. So we are talking about a huge audience and a never-ending audience, and an audience that has a built-in capability to have a relationship ignited immediately with you. So remember, I promised we're going to do 3 action steps so you can start to put together immediately in your business. So here's number 1. You need to create the perfect customer description for your business. And I'm going to give you some examples here or some pointers on how to do this. First off, you are in the middle of this description. Secondly, no broad demographics, right? Mary, what was when you came into the university, I was going to ask, what was your idea of what your perfect customer was?
The first email that I sent you was that I wanted to focus on women who wanted to lose a lot of weight.
And what percentage of women out there do you think maybe want to lose weight? A good amount of weight?
100% of them, everybody.
So, I get, coaches coming in and say, I want to target busy moms. I don't know a mom that isn't busy these days. So, we're going to give a lot of good examples tonight of what target markets that have been successful and, with coaches. So, but no broad demographics. Are you passionate about helping this niche? You've got to be passionate. Think through jobs that you have life stages, interests, problems overcome, family dynamics. We have coaches that are reaching out to, they have, kids that are autistic or with ADHD, and so they reach out to other, autistic moms that are, in the same situation as them. So I want you to think about that, and there's more examples coming up to give you kind of more of a point. Now, the third secret here, the first one was getting scale, moving away from one-on-one to one-to-many, marketing, and then relationship building. And that's from the marketing side, right? What does it take? So you're in a relationship business, and you need a volume of relationships. You need a large volume of relationships, and you need to be able to establish those at consistently low costs. So that's where Facebook advertising comes in. Now, this was a screenshot, Mary, of just you and I, our conversation we had a few days ago. You said, FYI, my free group is at $174. I've only spent $18, and I've got a $50 budget. So I said that, and you said, it's crazy. It's this ad for your free group. It's already been shared 81 times since Monday night. And this was on, I think it was last Wednesday night. So this was after 2 days. So we're talking about low-cost Facebook ads that when done right, how much value you get. You're getting people sharing this, and you get them tagging other diabetic friends of theirs, and you get a lot of value out of it. $18 to get 174 people into a free group is not a lot of money. So the secret to marketing is using Facebook. There's no other platform out there that you can pinpoint your perfect customer with such low-cost advertising as on Facebook. Now the other side, and this gets really good, and what Mary did here is all about the message, right? There's the platform, the targeting, right? But you've got to say the right things. So Mary created a brand, and you actually wrote a mission statement. I'm going to read that for everybody. I want to have you talk a little bit about this mission statement. It says, Mary reaches out to diabetic women. I'm Sugar Mama Strong, a confident, beautiful, extraordinary woman who approaches her diabetes with determination and perseverance. A girl who knows her worth and knows she's worth the fight. Why was this? How did this resonate with your audience, by the way, and why did it resonate so much?
I still get goosebumps every time I read it, and I get a little teary-eyed. But it was received so well in my communities, in my free groups, my challenge groups. The ladies in there have asked for t-shirts and water bottles and hoodies with the saying on the back and my logo on the front. And I have a steady stream of orders for these every month, which is bananas to me. But it, now it's become a thing where we say it to each other. You're Sugar Mama Strong if someone's having a bad day. It really has become our mantra, Despite all of the challenges that we face every day with all the things that we're juggling, we're not going to give up.
This is just an example, right, of the relationship, the promise between your brand and your niche that you're making. Could you have ever created anything this powerful if you were still trying to be everything to everybody, or most all women that were trying to lose weight? Could you ever have done that?
No.
Yeah. It's just,
not
this
possible.
is the power in your brand, is your ability to create relationships. And this is a relationship creating machine. So what powers all of this is that you first picked your perfect customer, right? So this is the third secret in the marketing. So here's your free ad. That's the, $18 spent, you already had 174 people into it. As a woman living with diabetes, I'm always searching for ways to make life easier. One of my favorite tools is in the kitchen is the crock pot. It's a lifesaver. And you go on, and what people get out of this, and what you get out of this support and accountability in there. How important is support, community, accountability to your niche? And why is that such an important part of this ad?
It's invaluable. As a woman living with diabetes, there are a lot of stereotypes and stigmas associated. And to have people, plenty of people who understand that is priceless. And I do the crockpot groups each month because, again, as diabetic women, all we think about is food and how it's going to affect us. Are our numbers going to shoot up or go low or whatever? So we're always searching for recipes, which, I'm providing them with something that they need.
Fantastic. Well, let's keep moving on here. This is the bottom. This is the image. You see here 225 likes. This is after 2 days, 115 shares. Pretty crazy. So those are the 3 secrets: scale, focus, and marketing. That's what you brought to your business that made this huge jump, this change. So when we talk about Facebook here, this is where we're talking about the perfect leads finding you. You can think about Facebook as your outreach machine, right? And then those people are going to come back, and we're going to talk about where those people come back to, where the call to actions from your ads come back, and what you need to have in place. But that's what Facebook's all about. So let me give you just a few other case studies just to show you this works across all kinds of different niches and coaches with different backgrounds. Here's Kristen. She said, "Good morning. I had 71 people fill out the form on my website, and 43 people actually add themselves to my group." So from her Facebook ad, they went to her website, her blog, and filled out a form on a landing page there, just a page that she had set up. And so she got 71 emails, and then they got automatically forwarded to a thank you page, which is very easy to do. You don't need any technical background, by the way, to do anything we're talking about here. And it went up over to 50 people as she got into her group, and she had spent $11. Now, she reaches out to Christian teachers. And look at this. This is the bottom of her ad. Look at all these other Christian teachers tagging their Christian teacher friends. When was the last time that happened with an ad that you created? It's crazy. She said, they're so much easier to come by, these people to talk to. And I love that they are coming to me for something just besides a free sample, And by the way, remember we said that these niches aren't limiting? Her niche of Christian teachers was over 400,000 strong on Facebook. So there's a vast, vast pool to be creating on a never-ending basis a new warm market for you and your business. Now, I'm going to transition away from free groups here, and this is Coach Catherine Rabala, and she is a dentist and reaches out to others that work in dental offices, dental hygienists and other dentists. Now, this is the bottom of her ad. Look at it. "I want more info. I still haven't heard from you. More info. Interested, super interested. I'm interested." She said, "It's very different following up with people who came to you. When I used to follow up with my warm market, it felt really bad. Now, I had sought them out, and it felt really bad." And she says, "These are people who brought their needs to me." She created over 200 challenger leads in under 2 weeks in her very first month implementing what we're talking about here tonight. Now, another thing that happens when you pick a perfect customer is that content becomes so much easier. Mary, maybe let me read this, and then I'm going to ask you about content in your business here. But this is Coach Linda Hopkins. She's a daycare provider, and her niche is other daycare providers. Now, this was a non-boosted post on a brand new Facebook page for her niche. She got 780 likes, 96 comments, 232 shares. Let me blow this up. Here's what she said. She said, "Here's to you, daycare providers, to you who kisses boo-boos and wipes tears, who cleans butts with flair and catches puke with class, who gives comfort to scared little hearts and drinks pretend tea when it's given to you, who wipes noses a million times in one day and reads the same story over and over again, who takes criticism but keeps smiling even though you are hurt and works long hours even though you're tired. Here's to you, daycare providers, who give of yourselves every day and understands you are here to love, provide, and protect." You can't create content like this when you're trying to be everything to everybody, right? So the power in your brand is your ability to create an initial connection that is meaningful, that people will look at you and they'll read that. Other daycare providers read that and they say, "Absolutely, you get it. You're one of us." Now here's another one. Now she did a small boost on this. She was $6.27 into the boost and had 787 likes, 127 comments, 205 shares. Has your daycare ever felt like a war zone? This is daycare. I know, I love this one. I just love it. But the bottom line here is, we don't want to, as parents, think that daycare is like that. But, I could see from a daycare provider a bunch of small little kids that are whiny, hungry, crying, need diapers changed, stealing things from the other kids. I could see it feeling like a war zone. No doubt about it. Now, Linda just recently hit the 37,000 mark of Facebook page likes. In the first 75 days, she hit 26,000. The only dollars that she spent was that $10 boost on that one post I just showed you. So when you really get this right, it adds a whole new dimension to your business. Now here's Chelsea. She said, I've got 164 members in my free group. It's so different when you interact with like-minded people. The one thing I have really noticed within myself is that it brought out my passion back to what I truly love. This helps you in your business because, yes, you have to have a passion already, but it brings back your passion. Mary, talk to me about two things: how easy it is to create content these days, because you've got your niche, and how has it rekindled your passion, for your taking care of yourself, and reaching out to other diabetic women. Has that gone to a whole new level?
Yes and yes. As far as creating content goes, I know that if it resonates with me, it's going to resonate with my audience. And so the things that I post on my Facebook page, my business page, are, things about diabetes, stories that I find, quotes that I love, funny memes that, have to do with our struggle. And when I do blog posts, which I only do once a week, I don't go crazy. I pick my topics directly from the groups that I run because I see the problems or the situations firsthand, and so I address them on the blog. And it has become so much easier for me to create that content because I have direction. And as far as my own self-care, it's funny because, and I know you're going to talk about this later, but I created a support community for my niche because one of our problems is that we feel alone, and we face all this, the stereotypes and all that. But another thing is the accountability aspect. And before I started my support community, I was not a good patient, and I did not do everything that I was supposed to do. But the minute I opened that community, I have tested myself every single day since last May 22nd when it opened, and that is a big deal for me, and that would not have happened had this not been my focus. So it has helped me tremendously on a personal level.
I mean, each and one of these case studies we're going over because it's such important benefits that are being brought to your business here. Now, here's another validation of why this makes so much sense. So this is Coach Amanda Howland. She's a music teacher, and this is a music teacher responding back to her and saying, I think the part that really drew me in was that you're a music teacher also. Now look at this. This is, I think 2 days ago, she sent this to me. Someone tagged all their music teacher friends in my free group post. She went on to say, she goes, it's been a long, arduous process, right? Building up to this. And before, I felt gross and salesy and like I was scraping to get by, reaching out to warm market and trying to troll around in groups. And now I have customers coming to me every month, new recruits joining my team, and a community of super like-minded ladies who get me. She has gone on in the first 3 months of implementing this, and she's replaced her teacher's salary. So this is not a long-term build process. This is where you can start to have a lot of success very, very quickly. Now, Jessica, she's got a free group and 150 people in it, and the niche is ICU nurses, right? And now when it comes down here, they're all my people, best feeling ever. So the engagement goes up in these groups because everybody feels like they're a part of this community. It's not like, I don't really even have a lot in common with all the other community members. It's a whole new dynamic that happens within these groups. And Monica, I think you might even be on here tonight. Running a free group with 140 people, engagement is great, feeling positive and excited. We want you feeling positive and excited about your business again. So here's the your ad. You've got a video on it, and you do one of the card videos, right, where you show the videos, which works great on Facebook because people have to activate the volume there. But look at this. I mean, this was, I think, 83 shares, 43 comments. I can relate. This is what we want people saying on your advertising. As you go down here, yes, I can relate. I can relate. Amen. I can totally relate. This is all comments on an ad, right? So we tend to think of advertising as something very commercial. You do it right, and it's something very personal. And I think that's a big, huge difference we want to underscore here. So Mary, you said, hey, I've got my target market, I got my brand, I got my Facebook ad plan. I don't worry about getting leads every month. So that was back to those what if statements at the beginning, right? I just want everybody to think about what that would mean in their business if you literally spent no time trying to figure out who you're going to talk to in the business and how those were the right quality people, right?
Yeah.
Now, explain this one, Mary. This is, you talk about finding your ideal customer challenger. You say, all of my new friends get it. If I'm feeling it, they're feeling it, or felt it, or relate to it. It's a beautiful thing. Feeling really to connect to people instead of feeling like you're shoving something down their throats. You wrote this in our private Facebook group with coaches, hundreds and hundreds of coaches that are members of the university. You wrote this for them. Why?
I think it's important to know that these strangers that you are putting yourself out there for, that yes, it's your cold market, but it's your cold market that turns into your warm market. And you know that Facebook feature, the on this day, where you can see your post from a year ago?
Right.
So it's very interesting because a year ago, I wasn't doing this part yet. And anything I posted about Beachbody or coaching or anything, it's like 2 likes, 3 likes, 1 comment from my coach because she felt bad that nobody was commenting on it or whatever. And now, if I post something on Facebook about anything, it seems like, I have 400 likes on it. And the reason that happens is because I now have, from my cold market that is now my warm market, I have over 1,000 women on that interest list who are friends with me on Facebook. So they are seeing all my stuff. And because, like I said in this slide, that, if I'm feeling it, they have experience or are feeling it now. And so it speaks to them. And it just, it's a whole different feeling when you put yourself out there and you get a response in return.
It speaks to that at the beginning. We were talking about those fears that you were posting on social media and getting crickets and dribbles, right?
Right.
So it's a great departure. So you asked your question, with all of this, okay, great, where do I start? What do I do? So we have 4 different phases of a marketing campaign that we would have you go through. And I'm going to go through it. There's the code cracking success phases. Phase 1 is the foundation. What do you do to get your foundation set? Second is content creation, which includes your offers. Then lead capture. What are the systems you got to put into place to capture these leads? And then what do you do to generate the leads, right? Makes perfect sense. So remember how I promised that we're going to go over 3 big mistakes that can stop you in your tracks? Well, we're going to go over 4 here. I'm going to over-deliver on that promise just a little bit. But in the first foundational phase, you pick your perfect customer, you pick a brand, right, and a promise, what you're going to promise to do for your target market niche, and then you're going to start a blog. This is just a website with a little bit more to it. Mary, you've got a blog up. You don't have to have technical background, or you don't have to, I don't want anybody being overwhelmed that we're saying you got to start up a website, a blog, right? We make it super easy for you, and we're not saying that we want you to be big bloggers and, writing content and big articles all the time. That's not it at all. You just need to have a home base online. Where Facebook is your outreach, your blog is the home base that you control online. So who is your perfect customer? That's the compass for your entire business. Everything you do is in service of that perfect customer niche. It happens to also be the number 1 mistake. Now, Mary, I already put you on the spot, and I said, what was your niche when you came in? It was women who needed to lose weight.
Yeah.
So we worked back and forth. You joined the university. We're going to give you personal advice on all the important things that you're doing to put this foundation in your campaign together. And literally all the case studies we've gone through, the music teacher, the Christian teachers in there, all the case studies we went over there, every single one of them came in with a different idea of what they thought their niche was until we talked through it. So this is one of the mistakes that I don't want you to make, because everything depends on it afterwards. It's either too broad, too narrow, or coaches just throw in, here's the 10 things about me. So out of all those 10, I'll appeal to a lot of people. Well, you need to have a very defined, a very focused. That's why secret number 2, right, was focus. I didn't say secret was niche, pick a niche. It's focus. So we help you focus. We help you validate your niche as well. So, Mary, we already talked about your niche. I'm not going to put you back on the spot there.
That's okay.
So our first action step, here's some examples, right? Music teachers, daycare providers, police officers, ICU nurse. So the first action step was create a well-defined niche, a very focused niche. Mistake number 2 is when it comes time to find that niche on Facebook. If you've never gone into Facebook and created an ad, that's okay. This is a screen from within that process. And what you do is, it's called detailed targeting, and you start typing in, what you want to target. Like this is an example of stay-at-home moms, right? So you start typing in stay-at-home moms, and all these different choices start popping up down below. And then you click. Before this was here, it was empty. You clicked on a narrow further, and then this whole area popped up. Now look at this, stay-at-home moms, and then and must also match anxiety awareness, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Christianity, organic food. This is what I call the kitchen sink. Because and must match at least one of these. So you've just given Facebook the ability to say, okay, we're going to target stay-at-home moms with anxiety, or stay-at-home moms that are Christian, or stay-at-home moms that have an interest in organic food. But Christianity may not be a part of what we show it to. You've given the discretion of who to show it to Facebook, because these are or. It can be this, or this, or this. So if you don't get the Facebook ad audience right, then the message never reaches the right people, right? You never get the return. It'll stop you in your tracks. So that's the mistake we don't want you to make in the university. Now, this could be another mistake. People feel that, I didn't write it down as one, but you are the brand. Mary, when you make a recommendation to join your groups, when you're making a recommendation to purchase a challenge pack, who do they have to believe in and trust in? Who's making that offer to them?
Me.
Absolutely, right? Beachbody's not there, right? They're talking to another diabetic woman about things that they can do to help their situation. They trust in you. You're the first line of defense, right? So people think, oh, Beachbody is my brand. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars on this. It's a household name practically. Everybody knows the different programs. Why wouldn't I have that as my brand? Well, every other coach has it as the exact same brand. No. Beachbody is an incredible tool in your business. But you're going to take Shakeology and the workouts, and you're going to weave it into an experience that you create in particular and serve up to your niche. So you are the one that they have to believe in. So you're the brand. Now, here's mistake number 3. It's all based on emotion. One of the reasons why we showed, Mary, and you did such a great job of putting that mission together, it was chock full of emotion. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean here. We've all heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? At some point in school somewhere. And every level on this pyramid is tied to a basic human need. And all levels are based on emotion except for the bottom one, physiological needs, food, shelter, water. Safety and security, love and belonging, self-esteem, self-actualization. Your brand belongs on one of those upper levels. And if you don't know which one, then we can help you with that. Look at this. This is from Harvard, the new science of customer emotions. It said most businesses fail to align themselves with the emotions that drive their customers' most profitable behaviors. Your original profitable behavior is to get them to be a challenger. And you don't need the DNA of a Disney or Apple to succeed. So we want you utilizing the emotional connections. We make decisions based on emotion. Here's Nielsen, the TV ratings people. They're also a worldwide research company. We're ruled by our emotions, and so are the ads that we watch. It's no secret that emotions are central to advertising. They're at the heart of the relationship we have with brands. They drive our non-conscious decisions and play a major role in our conscious decisions too. So here's what I want you to do. I want to give you a second action step. Right? The first one was pick the perfect customer description for your business. Write that out. Here's the second one. List out the top 3 emotional needs of your niche. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it over to Mary. Mary, take us through these. These are your top unmet emotional needs as an example for people to see in your business, for your niche.
So my husband gets mad when I say this, but not even my own family gets what I go through. You know, he lives with me, he sees me take medicine, but he really doesn't understand the physical effects that different foods can have on me, or what it feels like to have a low blood sugar and that I can't get out of bed to go get something. I need him to get it for me. He doesn't really get it. So having, again, a community of women who understand that when I say, oh, I had a sugar low, they all know what that means because they've all felt it. The second one, nobody understands the fight between my weight loss and my diabetes. These medications that some of us are on work against us in a big way. Some things that are supposed to make you feel better make you feel worse. And so, you know, yes, your sugar is good, but you're, you know, throwing up. So, and also some of these diabetes medications make you gain weight. So you have to work doubly as hard to see progress. And the last part, I mentioned a little bit earlier about the stigmas and the stereotypes and the judgments from people when you say you have diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2, because some people don't know the difference, and so they lump it all together. There's a lot of negative portrayal of women with diabetes or men with diabetes for that matter, that, you know, they're fat and lazy and did this to themselves and, oh, you asked for it or whatever. And so having a group to share experiences with where no one is going to judge you is invaluable for my niche.
So you could start to see how you start to connect the unmet emotional needs of your niche. You just recognize them, that people are going to say, oh my goodness, what a breath of fresh air you are. You really get it. You really are an insider. Now, here's some others from some of the niches we've gone over in some of these case studies. And so what I want you to do is just guess. Guess at which ones these go with, okay? Here we are. I want to come home safe every day to my family. Guess what niche that's attached to? Oh, I'm seeing it over here. Absolutely, the police officer niche. Great. Yep, Allison got that. Yep, John got that. So the bottom line here is every single niche has emotions that are going to drive their decisions, and they're unmet, they're specific, very unique unmet emotional needs that are attached to every single niche. And here's another one. The most underappreciated, highly demanding responsibility in the world. Anybody get that one? I've seen it come up. Absolutely. The daycare provider, right? The most underappreciated, highly demanding responsibility in the world. She said, that's what we feel like every single day. Here's one. It's hard to shift gears to normal life after taking care of people near death. Who is that? Yep, seen it pop up. ICU nurse. Absolutely. Right? So we're trying to get you is focusing geared towards not only understanding who your perfect niche is, but what are the emotions that drive, like Harvard Business School said, the most profitable customer behaviors. That's them making a decision to join you on your team, to be a challenger, and ultimately join you as a coach on your team. So mistake number 4 in the foundational phase is you need a blog. People think, no, I got my Facebook page, right? Well, social media changes all the time, right? And we're going to show you, we gave examples of, I think, Kristen, in that case study, it was, she had people landing on a page, filling out a form. She had 71 different forms filled out and spent $11 to get emails. Well, you need to have a lead capture process. You also need to have a home base. You need to have a place where everybody sees you and that you build credibility. So when I said you don't have to be this massive blogger, Mary, you started out with what? Just a small handful. We recommend 2 or 3 different articles that would build up credibility in your niche, and then over time you slowly add to it. But you just want to have a place that is yours. And this is the home page of Mary's website. I'm going to blow that up here. And Mary took advantage of our blog service that we created. We created it with founding coach Tracy Morrow years ago because of the need to have a blog in the marketing, the whole lead capture system. And so I'm going to just scroll down very quickly to give you a sense of Mary's homepage on her blog. And if we were live, things would just float into place very nicely. It looked very professional. But here's call to action buttons right on the top. And Mary, can you just, before we do this, can you just tell people how much technical background and proficiency did you have or need to put all this together?
I had zero idea how to do this, but the fast track steps walk you through it. And I honestly didn't even ask my husband for help. He's like a techie guy, but I was determined to do it. And, you know, maybe I had to watch a video twice here and there, but for someone who has absolutely no experience building any of this, I'm pretty proud of how it came out.
You should be. It's all point, click, type in a new line, copy and paste in a link, hit save, upload a photo, hit save, that kind of a thing. But as you go down, here's the must-dos of a diabetic diva. And then we're in this together. It's kind of a section like an about section on the home page. And then here's the healthy recipes that you can scroll over and they animate. You can click through. Testimonials, your latest blog posts, your latest news. So these blogs have a lot on there. We show you how to create really professional landing pages, and that's just the page that people come to from your advertising because you want to get their contact information. You want to get their email addresses. You want them to fill out a form. And so there's a number of ways that we do that. But every lead that you have in your business should come through your blog. And there's a bit of a thing here called remarketing. That's another reason too, because you just copy a little bit of code from Facebook and you paste it and hit save on a place on your blog, and we show you where to do it. And all of a sudden, Facebook knows everybody that came from that ad, where they went on your blog. You can remarket to anybody who ever visited your blog. You can remarket to people that went to certain pages on your blog. So there's a whole world of remarketing. And the easiest way to think about remarketing is just like email. Every time you send an email out to somebody that you've sent before, you're remarketing to them. So instead of sending it through email, you're putting together low-cost Facebook ads. So, there's lots and lots that you can do. You can put up all the best answers to the objections that you're going to get, and especially when you're focused on a target market niche, you should be able to have the top objections. You should count them on one hand. But answer those objections in the process of converting them into a challenger and on your team. Answer those objections, those roadblocks really well once. Do a video, do an article, whatever you want to do, put it up on your blog, and then send people there. They'll get the best answer ever, and it'll save you tons of money. So this is all about, you can put it together a team area. This is about having control of your business. You are an online marketer. You need to have a place that's your home base online. And here's the thing. You can customize it any way that you want. You are the admin on your blog. And we give you a head start. We have over 50 pages of Beachbody content, including all the top programs. When new programs come out, we've got the new page coming up for you. When the All Access changed this year, we changed it on all the blogs. It magically appeared on all the blogs. We have tools for you so you can create really great professional forms and landing pages. And your forms should give you an automatic email, a notification. Every time somebody signs up, you should know instantly, right? We have over 200 little things called plugins, little software programs that just plug into your blog that allow you to do things like create a professional form, right? And we have $500 in extras. We support everything technically that you want to do on the blog, how it fits into the marketing scheme, the role, everything. All questions are answered. So these are the three elements of the first foundation: your perfect customer, your brand, and your blog. Now, I'm going to go to the second phase, and this gets fun here. This is easy. Why? Because this is the life that you live. So when you create content, we talked about it earlier, it's easier to create content because it's you. Lots of coaches go around and they have a notebook or they put it into their smartphone. They just, something happened in life and they're like, oh, that would make a really great post on my Facebook page, So Coach Shima, she said, it's also much easier to talk about content because I'm right in the middle of it. Now, this is where we said, remember before, the goal here isn't to create a big, huge social media following. Your content is there to create credibility in you. And it's there to show consistency. So all your ads come from your Facebook page. So you want to have a regular drumbeat. You don't have to have, I've had coaches say, yeah, I post 10 times a day on my Facebook page. Oh my goodness. If you do it once a day, that's fantastic. If you did it 5 times a week, that's fantastic. But in not every post, we're going to show you some examples. Mary's going to take us through here in just a minute. You don't have to have every post hit a huge number of shares and comments and likes and things like that. But when people are ready to engage with you, they want to see that you're there. And they want to see that you're there in a credible way because you're talking about things that are important to them. So take that pressure off, right? You're not looking for leads coming from huge following on social media. It's about credibility and consistency, presence. You're always there. Now, Mary, you talked here about how you don't post all kinds of things about Beachbody, right?
No.
So let me go through 3 examples of posts, and I'm going to have you talk about your posting strategy on Facebook a little bit. So, serious question, would you consider yourself a binge eater? I'm curious, right? You went on, and this had 43 comments, 15 likes. Now, here's another one. Having to carry your diabetes supply everywhere you go. It's the truth. Bunch of 85 likes, 20 shares over here. Here's another one, though. Got 4 likes. It had been up 6 hours and only had 4 likes. But again, it showed that you understood your audience and it showed you were there and you were consistent. Let today be the day you give up who you've been for who you can become. So tell us a little bit about how you think about posting on your Facebook page.
So I really want people to get a sense of who I am and what I believe and what my struggles are, because my ultimate goal is not for them to learn about Beachbody, because again, like you mentioned before, Beachbody spends millions of dollars doing that. I want them to come to my Facebook page and get to know me. So when I post on that page, I post about my family, I post about my diabetes, I post, quotes, I throw in workout selfies and all that kind of stuff too, but I don't do it, I do it in the story. So I don't, say everyone should be drinking Shakeology. No, it's, what did you have for breakfast? I had Shakeology today or whatever. So I really try to share myself more than anything else.
Makes perfect sense. And you don't post usually more than once a day or so, right?
It depends on the day. Some days it's once, some days it's 3 times. I have been more consistent lately as far as trying to post, 2 to 3 times a day on there. But I don't do anything super crazy like 10 times a day like you mentioned before.
Good, okay. Let's get into the third phase here. And here's the reality, right? Nobody will join your team if they don't first respond, interact with you, get help, and get excited, right? So this is the get help part. You want opportunities that are very low risk for them to become a part of what you're doing in your business, and one that have higher reward opportunities. So we're talking about free and paid. We're talking about free groups and challenge groups, right? So these are the capture tools that you're going to be creating in your business. I want to give you a full breadth of what you would have to be doing, because I just don't like webinars where they give you just a training, they give you a little slice of what you need to do. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this list, because it's in the fast track training and you just do it one at a time, right? Mary did this. You need to create those offers, the irresistible offers for your niche. And you do them once. You did your free group, you did your challenge group, and you've got it like well-oiled wheel, and you do the same thing every month. You got to create your landing pages and your thank you pages, right? So people coming from the ads, they have a place to go, fill out a form, become an official lead. On those pages, you're going to have the form that you submit to say, I want to be a part of this. And then you have the groups that you put together, right? So you have your Facebook groups, and I talked about that tracking pixel, which is literally just copying and pasting and saving. And it takes 3 minutes to do. But these are really important elements that I want you to know you're going to have to be able to do. And Mary, when you were doing all of this, how well did the fast track steps kind of pace you through it? And then you could also ask questions in the Facebook group, and you could ask questions personally as well. But did this overwhelm you, this process?
Actually, it did not. I really did take it step by step. I still have my notebook from when I first joined that has notes from every step of the fast track steps. And I really just did one thing at a time until it was done. And, I think for me, the hardest part was the landing thank you submission forms part. But now that part takes me 2 minutes, because once you learn it, you learn it. And so, the videos that you have in the university really do walk you through step by step.
Fantastic here. So here's the top of the ad that you do for your challenge groups. Hey, sugar mamas, let's talk. The reality of diabetes is, it is overwhelming having to manage blood sugars while handling day-to-day responsibilities, taking care of our families, and working every day. The people closest to us often don't understand what we go through to manage our numbers, our A1C. So this was part of that they don't understand, our families don't understand what we go through. That was part of the unmet emotional needs you identified for your niche. These things make it to fruition. They actually, part of what you do to create lead capture is the actual ads themselves. And it relies on the foundation that you created from before, right? And then, that's how you get, 358 likes, 83 shares, 43 comments. Because you've gone through methodically, you put it all together. Now, all the other case studies we showed here, all those happened in the very first month. So again, I want to reiterate, this doesn't have to take a really long time. Now, you have 3 different groups that you created. The top is what you call a community group. The diabetic friendly crockpot meals is your free group, and then you have your challenge group. Tell us a little bit about these and how they work in the role in your business.
So the Sugar Mama Strong Diabetes Support Group is the place where I form relationships. We call ourselves a sisterhood, and it really is like that in that group. It also is a great place to add people who are not ready to commit to a program, but you still want to form that relationship with. And because they are in your niche, when you are having that conversation with them and they tell you that they can't afford it or whatever the reason is, you say, well, I have this free group. Would you like to join us there? And they all say yes. And, so that's a place where I can put them so that I can still provide a level of support for them, as well as the other ladies in the group. The free crockpot meals, which is the middle picture, this is the free group that I run every month. It is a 7-day group. I have them, when they join the group from the ad, I have them click on a link that goes to my landing page on my blog. And when they fill out the form with their name and email, the recipes are automatically sent to their inbox. And what that does for me is it collects their email, so I can remarket to them either through Facebook ads, or I can, send my newsletter to them. So that helps me keep track of those people. And what's great about the Crockpot group is now that I have it where I want it, I just reuse the posts from the previous month, and the only thing that I change are the recipes. So I really am not putting a whole ton of work recreating the wheel every month for my free group. I just change the recipes, which doesn't take much time at all. And the last one is my paid challenge group. That was the one that's currently going on right now, actually. And again, I have two ways for them to join, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit, where they can either go fill out a form on my blog, or they can right away join the group where I'll share more information with them.
So not every coach has a community group, a free group for a free challenge, and then another challenge. But, you know, the most important thing is you've got free access. You've got areas that you can put people, even if they don't want to be a challenger, because you get a lot of your 52 SE points were from people that had been in these communities, the community group or the free groups, right? So,
Right.
you know, that month may not have been a good one for them, but the next month might. So
Yeah.
here's the last one. And this is where you start your lead generation. And there's 3 different ways that you can use the foundation that you've already set up. Prospecting, engaged prospecting, and offer prospecting. So prospecting is just, you know, it's the basic prospecting. You go out and you're going to reach out. You're going to find your perfect niche on the top social networks. And Shannon says here, there's just an abundance of people and possibilities to connect with. If you don't think you have enough people to talk to, you might want to find a different excuse. Kathleen, she said, I've always had a hard time breaking away from the computer to do housework and run errands because she felt guilty, not trying to create more relationships. But these new tools make me feel like I'm getting 10 times more done in the same amount of time. And Jenny said, I now understand more about branding and can fish in the right waters with the right pole and food that draw the fish to me. So here's what I want to do. Here's your 3rd action step. Because as you're building up towards running the kind of ads that Mary's doing, as soon as you pick your customer, your perfect customer, you should be out there in meeting. You could be making 10 different new social media connections a day. That's what we recommend. So how do you do that? Well, it's our 3rd action step. We want you to list out keywords that you can use to search for your perfect customer on all the top social networks. So here's examples of nurses, and you see, you know, a cop, you know, police officer, law enforcement, LEO, which is law enforcement officer, you know, for Mary, diabetes, diabetic, type 1, type 2, pre-diabetes, insulin. Think through the keywords that all the top social networks in very different ways, and we in the university have a social media prospecting made easy series that shows you how to do it, and search for your perfect customer on all the top social networks. So that's action step number 3 that gets you having success immediately. Okay, the next level is what we call engaged prospecting. So we have everybody validate their target audiences on Facebook, running like campaigns and doing some testing there. Here, Megan, she gets 20 cents a like. Now, what you do, and there's 15-star diamonds in the business that are doing this. So what you do is, for everybody who likes your page, send out 10 friend requests to those people every day. And then X percentage are going to accept your friend request. Now, these are people that have engaged with you. You're a perfect customer because you defined who you advertised to begin with. You picked that audience. And then of those people, they've liked your page and they've accepted your friend request. Now you can send them one-on-one messages, and you can filter your news feed by a list. You create a list of these people, and now you can engage with what they're doing and posting on Facebook. So this is called engaged prospecting. And like I said, there's 15-star diamonds. This is all that they do to drive their business. Now, what you can also do with these like campaigns, Mary, this is the bottom of the ad that you ran for your latest challenge to people who actually had liked your page. And you said you got twice the amount of engagement and reaction, people joining your challenge group out of this, which makes perfect sense, right? Because these are people that have already said, I like you, I like the business, I like what you're doing. It's a warmer market. So there's a lot you can be doing with a light campaign, low-cost like ads. This is where you said over 50 in the group now, all from people who already liked my page, and you spent $50. You spent $1 a lead to get people to say, yeah, I want to be in that challenge group. Now, you had to actually get them to purchase and convert them, right? But that's a really low cost. I think everybody would love to be able to spend $50 and have 50 people right away. I think it was within a couple of days you got this. So there's a lot that you can be doing with a light campaign. So this is where we then go to the third level. And this is where you advertise directly for your free and challenge groups. And this is the top of the ad that we talked about before, where perfect leads come to you. So there is a tremendous amount that you can do immediately, and then as you're building out, doing the engaged prospecting, and then where the perfect leads are coming to you, the offer prospecting. So this all happens, right? That was that secret number 3 in marketing, that big inflection point that you had in your business. So why are you here today? Well, you're probably tired of not having enough people to talk to. You're tired of feeling awkward and approaching new people, tired of trying the next new thing, tired of seeing so many others succeed but not you, tired of feeling like it isn't going to happen, tired of not knowing what to do and not taking action. Now, I hope that you've seen so much tonight that you can start putting into place immediately. But it's your time. Right? A warning here, no special background, tools, or magical touches required for you to build a wildly successful team online with the perfect leads finding you. So tonight I told you we're going to tell you a little bit about how we're going to support you. And then we're going to go into a Q&A, and I have another action step I'm going to go over here too. But this is, if you want to get involved in the university, it's a complete A to Z blueprint for creating a wildly successful team online with the perfect leads finding you, creating a never-ending warm market from your niche with built-in trust, credibility from the start. So look at this. Coach Lori Miggins, she was top 37 coach last year. Her first year, she earned $100,000, and she also joined the university right after she became a coach. Nicole, Coach Nicole, she sold over $5,000 in product in her first month with the university after 0 SE sales, SE points the 2 months prior. Coach Mark Hildebrand, he's the police officer. He now makes $50,000 a year. He's replaced from his Beachbody business, which he works 2 hours a day at. And he basically says, Steve, I've gone and I'm now planning to retire 10 years earlier. So this isn't theory. This is practice. There's proof from a coach community that's done this over and over and over again and tested it for you. And all of the phases we went over are all broken down. Mary mentioned a number of times. We break them into bite-sized chunks in the fast-track steps. You accomplish one at a time. And you go into every step. There's a short video that says, here's why it's number 1. Here's the role. Here's what you've got to do. The resources right down below. So one more critical success resource. And then in a few minutes here, I want to get into the Q&A. But we take really important subjects and we create boot camps. We have 5 boot camps that happen once throughout the year. We just finished the social media prospecting boot camp. Angel, she said, woohoo, the boot camps are amazing. Pamela said, thank you, Steve, for all that you do to help us. The boot camp webinars are worth far more than I paid. Thank you for making them affordable. So in the social media prospecting boot camp, we take what's in the university, the social media prospecting made easy series, and we dive deeper with 5 additional bootcamp webinars. Setting the stage for prospecting success, using social media dashboards and building extraordinary relationships, advanced Instagram and hashtag prospecting strategies, using apps for better prospecting, tracking, and conversions, and the bootcamp finale. So Terry said, I would tell a friend, if you want to stop wasting your time and doing things that you think are right but in reality are really wrong, stop now and sign up for one of Steve McDonald's next boot camps. Right away, he explains everything in a way that somebody can understand it. Mary, you got into a boot camp when you first started in the university as well.
Yep.
So here it is. There's a bonus step coming up, another bonus action step. But I want you to know what you're going to get when you join the university. 100% proven system, 25 different fast-track steps, the social media prospecting bootcamp, the social media prospecting made easy series, all questions answered. It's all available now, and it's all online for you to begin. And here's what you're going to create. You're going to create an irresistible story, your brand, for a perfect customer that you're going to identify in your business. And we're going to help you validate that that audience, that customer is out there and you can reach them. You're going to understand the emotional triggers that get them to decide to take those profitable customer behaviors with you in your business. You're going to have a bulletproof prospecting plan, the 3 different levels. Rinse and repeat offers. Like Mary said, I don't spend time on it every month. I put my offers into place and now I just work them. Facebook attraction ads. We're going to show you how to create an ad that takes advantage of your perfect customer and the emotional triggers that are going to get them to take action. We're going to show you 3 different call to action strategies so people have the most number of ways to raise their hand and say, I'm interested, and you get the most number of ways that you can follow up with them. We're going to show you how to use social proof. Others that have gone before them in your business, how you can insert that into your content so there's not just you saying this is great, but they're seeing proof from others. This is all a duplicatable system, right? So it's hard to sometimes duplicate. I worked for years with Wayne Wyatt. Twice he was Coach of the Year. And he said, Steve, nobody can duplicate my success. He recommends everybody get into the university. Everything that you do, what Mary has done here, your entire team can do too. So as a bonus, I'm going to give you 3 big, huge bonuses. I want to give you the perfect profile swipe file. Everything you do online, you're attached to a profile. People can check you out in that profile. So it's the secrets to what your niche wants and what you need to include in a perfect profile, because that's going to be one of the first things that represents you. We're going to break down this ad, the Facebook attraction ads, into a 7-part ad template. And we're going to show you there's an intro, a reality section, a transition, what you're looking for, what you get, the calls to action, how you create urgency and scarcity. We're going to break all that down. All the case studies that you've seen here, all the successes have used this ad template. And then we're going to help you close. This is Coach Amanda Howland, the one that replaced her teacher salary in 3 months. She's got a 6-stage closing process, scripts to use. She said these scripts absolutely had the leads closing themselves. The very first month she put this into place, she closed 1 out of every 3 challenger leads. Amazing. And then, if you take advantage of all this tonight, remember I said at the beginning of the training here, you're going to have a chance to get the How to Discover Your Perfect Customer, a step-by-step avatar guide. Become a member of the university. We're going to give you that tonight. So the road to failure is paved with inactivity. We want you taking the right actions. The road to success welcomes new ideas, plans, and partners. We want to be a part of that success with you. So are you ready to create a wildly successful team online? If you are, let's get started. There's over $1,820 of bonus value that we're giving there. Here it is, the swipe file, the 7-part ad template, the 6-stage closing scripts, the guide to a perfect customer avatar. And you have 2 wildly successful choices to join the university tonight, the Success Pack and the Go-Getters Pack. So the Success Pack has the Social Media Prospecting Bootcamp, normally a $200 value, and 1 month of the university free, which is a $26.99 value. And then we're going to throw in the Social Media Prospecting Made Easy series because it's a part of the university. It's $129 in savings plus $1,820 in bonuses. That's over $1,900 value. You can get it for $97 tonight. Now, if you want to go with the Go-Getters Pack, in blue, this is what we add. For $197, you're going to get 90 days of the university, a 90-day pack with 1 month free, a 90-day pack of the blog service with 1 month free. You get access into that private Facebook group that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of coaches in there that all support themselves, and we're in there answering questions all the time. You get our personal support and recommendations. I cannot underscore how important this is. You could spend thousands and thousands of dollars on training programs, and you're never going to get somebody to sit down with you one-on-one and say, let's look at your niche. Let's look at your brand. Let's look at your unmet emotional needs. Let's look at your Facebook ad audience. Let's look at your ads. Let's look at everything that you're doing. Make recommendations, right? Because the first time that you go through all of this, it is your first time. We've done it with thousands and thousands and thousands of coaches. So we can help you tremendously at that start, just in the way that we did with Mary, right? Where would Mary have been if she didn't arrive on, the diabetic woman audience? So that Go-Getters pack is $197. And then you get to pick the look and feel of your brand or your blog and go in and customize it. And we're going to give you the content and conversion bootcamp. It starts on March 27th. And it's all about creating great content, elevating your content, nailing down the conversion process, reasons to believe, learn, and convert, and then the bootcamp finale, getting personal. So that's the Go-Getters pack. What I want to do now is you go to take advantage of this. For today only, go to beachbody.practicalsocialmedia.com/Mary. Okay? beachbody.practicalsocialmedia.com/Mary. Now, everything that you do here, you get a money-back, risk-free guarantee. Kick it around, get in, look at the fast-track training, get involved in the Facebook group, take us up on our promise to help you personally and see how well it works. And after a week of getting in and testing it and looking around, you don't think it's for you, just let us know and we'll refund all of your money. So don't worry about, I don't have a niche that I'm in the middle of. We have never worked with a coach that we couldn't find a perfect niche for them. I'm not very creative. You don't have to be. You have to be you. And you have to be passionate. I don't speak or do tech. You don't need to. Just like Mary talked to. Right? Everything is shown for you, screenshots, where you point, what you click, and if anything gets confusing, you can ask questions in the group, you can ask questions directly of us. I'm overwhelmed. Don't be. We break things down in the fast track steps. You do them one step at a time, and we are there to help you with any of the questions that you have. So here's that bonus action step, and then we're going right into the Q&A. We got those 3 action steps that I promised you. Hopefully you're seeing. I'm going to promise, and I'm going to hope to over-deliver on all of our promises. And I want you to know that that's the experience that you're going to get in the university as well. Here's the bonus action step. Come up with 3 article titles or videos that prove you get it. This is the starting content on your blog. The creativity. And every article that you write should turn into 3 or 4 posts on Facebook, by the way, because you can take elements of that article and you post about it and link people back to your blog. But here's an example. The 3 must-dos to prepare for the police academy, right? Coach Mark Hildebrand, a police officer. 5 tips for eating out with diabetes. If you haven't written that article, Mary, that would be a good one, right? How to survive concert season without gaining weight. That's Coach Amanda Howland, and she's the music teacher. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to have Mary hang on here for another 15 minutes, and we're going to take all of your questions. And I promise to get done with this in time. So we've finished the entire training class here. If you have additional questions on anything, you can email us at customerservice@practicalsocialmedia.com. So your choice to hang out, but all of those offers for the Success Cat pack, the Go-Getters pack, all of those are for tonight only. So let me do this. Let me open up our GoToWebinar control panel here. And if you haven't already, go ahead and put your questions into the questions area of the GoToWebinar control panel. Let's see here. We ran over our limit. Wow, so many people on here tonight. I'd like more information on the forms on the website ad. How do I do that? So, Mary, maybe you could just tell them a little bit about, there's just a tool that you use, and we've got a video and instruction on it, so that we have that tool provided for everybody. It's actually a professional tool. It will cost you $90 on your own to purchase it. It comes with the blogging service, but it says, I'd like more information on the forms on the website. How do I do that? So if you could just kind of reiterate that that's something that, you can customize 100% and it was easy for you to do?
Yeah, so for my free groups, it's not involved at all. It's just a name and an email address. Um, I didn't want to make it too complicated for them, but everything is available in that form as far as the settings, the notifications, what happens when they fill out the form. All of that is explained to you in the university. For my challenge group form, it's a little more involved because I want them to take some time to share some information with me. But again, you know, the form itself to set up is all explained, all easy to implement on your blog. It is not complicated. You just have to watch a short video about it and you'll be able to implement it right away.
Now, Mary, I've been reading through the questions that are coming in. It says, how does Mary get the menus to go out automatically when her folks send their email address?
From the form, there's a spot for notifications, and one of the notifications that you can do is an email, and you have their email because they just put it in on the form. And all I do is upload a PDF of the recipes, and I put it into the email that is going to be sent out to them. And I put thank you for requesting these diabetic-friendly crock-pot meals. Click here for your recipes, and the file is right there for them. So I am not sending individual messages to hundreds of people. It is all automatically done through the blog.
Fantastic. I'm getting lots of questions about what goes into the Go-Getters pack again. And if you go to the beachbody.practicalsocialmedia.com/Mary, and it explains the Success Pack, it explains the Go-Getters pack. Now, also, somebody asked about, can you customize the domain that you have on your blog? And yes, absolutely. Mary, what's the domain that you have, the address that people type in to go to your blog?
It's just my name, maryvandorn.com. Once I decided on Sugar Mama Strong for real, I purchased that one as well, but I haven't done anything with it yet. So
Okay.
just maryvandorn.com for
Well, you
now.
can actually, it's very easy if you've got that domain registered, you can just tell somebody like a GoDaddy, and it's free, just forward that over to,
Yeah.
your maryvandorn.com. But a good question. Yeah, everything about that blog is customizable to make sure that it fits you. And we like having your name as the name of your brand, your company, because you are the brand. So people have to trust and believe in you. So having you and your name synonymous with your business is a very, very good thing. Now, Melanie is asking, Mary, do you create a new group for each monthly challenge group, free and paid, and then transition graduates to the support group?
Not exactly. I do create new groups each month for the free group and the challenge group. But what I do with my challengers is I do offer them the support community, but I just roll them over into the next group if they wish to continue with that level of support. But the community group is really open to everyone who wants to join. So not everyone in there is a challenger or past challenger. Some of them just found me by putting diabetes in the search box on Facebook. And so they see our group has almost 2,000 women in it, and they want to be part of it. So some of them are just, another form of cold leads from Facebook, really.
Fantastic.
I hope that answered your question.
If not, go ahead and Melanie post down below. Here's another one. Heather said, how much is the blog and website service per month? So the blog and website service, the blog and a website, same thing, and it's $16.99 a month. And just as an FYI, if you were just to replace even the hosting part, because there's no other cost associated with the blog. We are a hosting company too. So, but to get the level of security that we have on our hosting package, you'd have to pay $30 a month to be protected against hackers, spammers, bots that are out there trying to get at, sites and take them down and use them for bad things. So it's $16.99 a month. There was another question in here about what if I already have a blog. If you already have a blog, then we'll work with you to take the blog out of the Go-Getters pack. We don't want you to create two blogs. You don't need two blogs. But there was also a question about, do I get to control, what's posted onto my blog? Absolutely. So, your blog comes and then you are in control of your blog. When we update content, we put it out onto a page, and that page isn't linked to from anywhere, right? So we just tell you, hey, there's a new page out there, and then you get a link to it from the main navigation or sidebar, send people to it, but nobody's going to find it on your blog if there's not a link to it. So we just put it out there and up for you to then utilize, so you don't have to create those new pages on your own. So hopefully that helps as well. No question. I want to be the next success story. Thank you, Risa. That's great. Do you host a personal Facebook page and a like page? Run ads on your like page? So you can only run ads from a Facebook like page. Your personal profile, Facebook very much separates those into personal and business. That's why they created business pages. And there's been actually some coaches, very high profile coaches, who had their personal profiles shut down because they were doing too many commercial things on their personal profile. Doesn't mean that you can't interact with your niche and you can't post on your personal profile, but just don't be salesy on it. Don't be commercial. Don't do ads for challenge groups and things like that. But Mary, how do you kind of balance your personal profile and your Facebook page?
Well, like I said, I am very personal on my business page, so they're very similar. I don't. For sure, there are more niche-related things on my business page, but I like the fact that on my personal page, I have that interest list where if I want to post something more niche related to my personal Facebook, I can change the audience for my posts to just focus on my Sugar Mama Strong list instead of to my entire Facebook. But I do very much post the same types of posts, not exactly, but the same type.
Yeah, you've got tons and tons of your core audience, your perfect customers who are following you on your personal profile. Absolutely. Let's see. You might have said this, but how long did Mary attend the university? So you've been a university member since you started, and there's still a lot of value I think that you're getting. We keep you up to date on all the changes in social media. Mary, maybe talk a little bit about why you would want to be involved in the university, after a month or two, or what the value is in that and what you learn and get out of it.
For me, I really enjoy the Facebook group with all the different coaches and seeing other people's ideas and getting that personal feedback. I, in the beginning, needed a lot of hand-holding as far as, am I doing this right? Does this sound right? Does it look right? Is it functioning the right way? And I like that I can send an email and I know that I will get a personal response, usually the next day. And, things are always changing and my audience, is different and I don't know what to do or, and if I wasn't part of the university, I feel like, I wouldn't have that extra layer of support that I still need.
Okay, let me see. Melanie re-asked another question, just to be crystal clear. You allow challengers, this is to Mary, to repeat challenges as many times as they like, but in a fresh group, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
With the new challengers who sign up that month, yes.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Are there any other additional costs other than the initial setup fee, the $197? So for the $197, and you get a 90-day university membership and a 90-day blog service membership, and then that turns over to monthly. And monthly, the university is $26.99 a month, and you stay on as long as you're getting value out of it. And the blog service is $16.99 a month. And I just saw somebody typed in there, well, that's not bad. But we create an ongoing cost to be involved in the university and the blog service that is extraordinarily low. And you can't find any other training program. You get in on a monthly basis for $26.99. And with that is all the personal help, support, and guidance. Like Mary said, personally gets all of her questions, and we'll look at all of your information and everything you're putting together and make recommendations. So it really is pretty hard to beat. Coach Amanda Howland, she said, I've tried all the big training programs and nothing matches this, especially for the price. So hopefully that puts a little bit of context and value around that. Let's see. Awesome, thank you. You are very welcome, Melanie. Got my question answered. Here's one. What if I have two different niches? That's great. I love the enthusiasm. Mary, I'm gonna say right away, and I'm gonna ask you a question on this, but right away, in order to create a campaign and service a niche specifically and meet their unmet emotional needs, do ads, attraction ads and groups and offers and things particular to your niche, it requires twice the effort to do that for a second niche. Right? You can't share Facebook pages and blogs and Facebook groups with people that aren't in the same niche, right? Because you're going to alienate each other, and they're going to be like, this isn't right for me. This is, So it doubles the amount of work. So my recommendation would be pick the niche that you're most passionate about. Develop that niche, and here's what's going to happen. You're going to have success with that niche, and guess what? You're never going to think about the other niche again, right? Because there's just going to be so much opportunity, like Mary's having here. But Mary, if you had to have a whole second niche, could you see actually physically doing that in your business?
No, not a chance. But I was going to say the same thing that you just said, is to pick the one that you are most passionate about.
Yeah, you have to do that. There's no doubt about it. So here's what I want to do. There's a minute left on our timer up there. And like I said, you can go to beachbody.practicalsocialmedia.com/Mary or /success. It'll take you to the same page. But what I want you to think about is, how can I put this into action quickly in my business? And Mary, as we're rounding out the webinar here, what would be your just overall recommendation, being a coach, having gone through this program, experienced it now for many, many months, what would your advice be to people?
My advice would be not to be afraid to focus your energy in one place. A lot of times, like you said in the beginning, we feel like picking a niche is going to limit us, but in reality, it is liberating. So don't hold back there. Don't feel like you are pigeonholing yourself, because what you're really doing is opening up an entire world of possibility for your business.
Well, Mary, thank you for being very gracious with your time and sharing with us here on the training tonight. And again, if everybody has any other questions, what I would ask is that you don't bother Mary and send her a ton of individual messages and overwhelm her. She's got a family, she's got a business. But if there are things that you want to make sure that you have questions on that didn't get answered here, then just send them in to customer service at practicalsocialmedia.com, and we'll get together with Mary. If it's specific for her, we'll get you an answer, no doubt about it. But I just want to be cognizant of Mary's time and her privacy. So Mary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody, we hope to see you in the university soon. We hope to be helping you in your business.